Alright, what's going on? So, I got the motor out of the car. I know I didn't go over too much about pulling the motor out, and those of you that probably watch my other videos probably love my vertical recording and monotone voice. But, so I got the motor out. We went in and flipped it. I pulled the oil pan off. One of the things that kind of was a pain with putting it on the stand was I originally had it bolted up to the lower transmission mounts. There's brackets that come off the side of the block and then go down to the where the transmission lower bolts go to. Problem with that is you cannot actually drop the oil pan when those brackets are installed, so I had to rehoist up the motor and then actually re-bolt it to different holes on the where the transmission bolts to on the back here. Probably not the best setup. It's very top heavy right now. I'm gonna pull the heads probably tonight, go through that. I was just kind of really wanting to get into go ahead and pulling the oil pan so I could see the damage and what it was going to be on the bottom end. And of course it was nothing easy. It was rod knock. So the number 5 piston, I got the 5 and 6 piston disconnect because I just wanted to see, what they look like. But whenever I pulled the number 5, or just pulled the oil pan in general, I was able to actually just rattle that rod around. So you can just tell that it was, that was the main issue. None of the other ones are too bad. I'm gonna go through and probably, as long as the crank isn't trash, I'm gonna go through and redo all the bearings and stuff. I'm not gonna do anything too crazy with this. I plan to just do like a cheap rebuild, so I'll let y'all know how that goes. But cheap is probably never the best. While disassembling though, also when I took off the oil filter where it mounts to, there's 2 check valves that go in there. One of them, and I saw online, but that a lot of people had the same problem. But the left one there is just completely destroyed. As soon as I pulled it off, the bearing came out of it completely. So I'm gonna have to replace that, which the check valve is only like $5, so it's not anything that not gonna break the bank or anything, not yet at least. But so that's where I'm at now. Unfortunately, it wasn't gonna be anything like a collapse lifter, even though it sounded like it was coming from the upper part of the engine, coming from the head. It was that number 5 rod just knocking like crazy, unfortunately. But still, I mean, as far as what I paid for the car, it's not terrible. And I've seen people, basically what I pay for the car is what I see what people are selling rolling chassis for. So I mean, at this point, that's what I got. But we'll do a rebuild on it. I'm going to try to document the whole thing. I'm going to put in there all the stuff that I get as I'm getting it. It's going to take me a little while to get the stuff together because kids, it's hard to just spend money or a ton of money on a car. But I think it'll be a fun experience, and we'll learn a thing or two, especially about these VG30s. So been doing a lot of research, and this motor's gonna need a lot. It's gonna need quite a bit to get it how I want it. But I don't plan on changing like compression ratios or anything like that. I was hoping, after I pull the heads, I'm gonna look at the pistons, see if the rods are good, if that number 5 rod is good. The bearing didn't look like it spun. The bearing was still in place on the number 5 rod and on the rod cap, but it was the journal is pretty chewed up. It's got some grooves in it. The longer I look at it, it doesn't look that bad. I need to get some measurements on it and see what it measures out to be. I don't have a mic or a micrometer, so I'm not sure if I really plan on just cleaning it up myself, doing like putting some sandpaper around like some 400 grit with some lubricating oil like WD-40 and doing the shoelace thing to get it polished up. So depending on what it measures at, that's probably what I'm doing. I'll document this whole thing, so if anyone else wants to know how terrible of an idea that is, hopefully we'll have a at least some documentation of it, and might make for some interesting video and just learning experience in general. So look forward to that. Hopefully we can get this piece of shit going. You know, I never had a car with T-tops, so I really was looking forward to driving this thing. So it might be a little while longer, obviously, but hopefully here soon we'll be up and going. So unfortunately, it being rod knock, apparently it happens often in the VG30s, at least in the Z32, the NA ones, maybe the twin turbo ones too. I just saw a lot of people posting about their Z32 knocking. You know, same thing, same situation. Is it lifter tick? Is it collapse lifter? You know, stuff like that. And unfortunately, a lot of people just tell them to, run thicker oil, makes it go away. Yeah, that will help. It'll help for a rod knock too for a little bit, but unfortunately, especially in a motor with 180,000 miles on it, it's bound to happen, especially in a quote unquote sports car, which is probably going to be driven hard, even if it's an NA 5-speed. It's going to get driven hard over 30 years. So unfortunately, it's not going to be easy, but as far as the rebuild goes, at least we'll get all new gaskets. I'm going to clean it up, probably paint some of the engine parts. I'm not sure what colors I want to do. I mean, the car's black, so I don't know. Red valve, I mean, how original. The valve cover's doing red, but if anyone else has any ideas of what a good color combo with this would be, just let me know or comment about it. See, I mean, I could always use some ideas. I'm not the most original person, so. But I'll also be going through and doing all the regular deletes, EGR delete. So I already got it disconnected. One of the bolts broke, but it is what it is. It shouldn't need to reuse those bolts at all. Because the actual line going to the driver's side exhaust manifold was completely seized into the manifold, so I ended up just cutting it. I plan on doing just like cheap manifolds, because the end game is I do want to find a used turbo set and do just a NA T build, just a twin turbo the NA motor on there, and just do it as cheaply as possible, because like I said, kids, having 2 kids is you really don't have a whole lot of money to put towards stuff like this, but it'll still be fun. So I'm looking forward to learning a thing or two as I'm going through this. So if y'all have any advice, I know like right off the bat it's gonna be like, hey, don't do this thing cheap, but it's probably gonna happen anyways. Yeah, but if y'all have any advice, just let me know. As I'm going through this, I'm bound to screw something up. Especially, I mean, I'm gonna go do the EGR delete. Might do the PCV delete, and then do a catch can. Doing that. I already forgot what the other thing is. Like, not. I think AI something that goes to the cool the cats. I'm gonna do that. Get rid of all that stuff. I already forgot the acronym. Might do a couple relocations. I don't know yet. Since the engine's out of the car, I'm gonna get it cleaned up as much as I can. But yeah. Well, that's I'm gonna get started on pulling these heads. I did have a socket or a hex head here or an Allen wrench socket that fit the head bolts in there. So I might as well just go ahead and pull them. I'm not really following anything. I'm just snatching things off and trying to keep it organized. So wish me luck, and I'll leave it at that. And I'll come back later and show you where I'm at. Peace.